Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this presentation, we will explore social cognitive theory, a framework that explains how human behavior is shaped by the interaction of personal, behavioral, and environmental factors. By the end of this video, you'll see how this theory applies in education, health, and even mass media. So let's get started. This presentation focuses again on social cognitive theory and how it helps in understanding or how it helps us understand the complex influences behind human behavior. Social cognitive states that learning happens in a social context. We don't learn in isolation. Instead, our thinking, our behavior, our environment constantly interact. This approach goes beyond traditional behaviorism, which only focuses on stimulus and response. Social cognitive theory, or SCT, emphasizes how our thoughts and expectations shape the way we act. The architect for the social cognitive theory is Albert Bandura. This theory was developed by Albert Bandura, one of the most cited psychologists of all time. He shifted from social learning theory to social cognitive theory in 1986 to emphasize the role of cognition. Bandura is well known for the Bobo-Dahl experiment, which demonstrated how people can learn behaviors simply through observation. One of the core ideas of social cognitive theory is reciprocal determinism. This means our behavior is influenced by three interacting factors: our personal characteristics, the action we take, and the environment we are in. These three factors influence each other continuously. In other words, we shaped our environment, and our environment shaped us. The three reciprocal determinism are personal factors, which are cognitive, affective, and biological events; behavioral factors, the actions themselves; and environmental factors, the physical and social surroundings. Bandura also explains that people don't learn through direct experience. We also learn by observing the actions of others. In this figure, the Bobodal study, children imitated aggressive behavior simply by watching adult, meaning they are thinking, or they learn the actions of the adult by observing or by watching what the adults doing. This highlighted the power of modeling in human learning. So the children, there is a very high possibility that children will replicate or imitate or duplicate what the adult are doing. The famous Bobodal experiment demonstrated that children would imitate aggressive behavior just like just like what is shown in the figure. Aggressive behavior they observe in adult even without direct reinforcements or reward. There are four processes of modeling. We have the attention, retention, reproduction, and the motivation. For the attention, the observer must actively attend to the modeled behavior and its key features. Retention, the observer must be able to remember the behavior, which are the cognitive encoding. Reproduction, the observer must have the physical capability to convert memory into action. And then the motivation, there must be a reason or incentive to perform the behavior. Without motivation, even when learned behaviors may not be carried out. So let's go with the self-efficacy. When we say self-efficacy, it is the belief in one's capability to organize and execute the courses of action required to manage prospective situation. Meaning, it's your ability to believe in yourself that you may, or if there is a higher self-efficacy, you may be able to achieve something, and meaning you believe in yourself that you can do it, you can achieve it. But on the other side, or on the other hand, the lower efficacy, meaning it's the ability of not believing that you can achieve it. Meaning, if there's a higher self-efficacy, once believe in their themselves that they can achieve it, the lower self efficacy, it's uh the counterpart of the higher self efficacy, that you don't believe that you can achieve or you can make it. So a major concept in social cognitive theory is once again the self efficacy, in which people with high self-efficacy are more confident, more motivated, and more resilient. This belief strongly influences our choice and persistence. So we have the four main sources of self-efficacy or the efficacy. We have the mastery experience success firsthand, vicarious experience, success is modeled, social persuasion, trusted source gives feedback to encouragement, and then the affective state, physiological effect. Again, in social cognitive theory, it's also important to understand outcomes expectation. Self-efficacy answers the question, can I do this? Outcome expectation answer, what will happen if I do this? This outcome may be physical, social, or self-evaluative, such as pride or guilt. Together, they guide our decision. As what is shown on the PowerPoint, we have the outcomes expectation, while self-efficacy is about capability, outcome expectation are about the consequences. So if the self is efficacy, the question is, can I do this? On the outcome expectation, what will happen if I do this? People act when they believe their action will produce valued outcomes. So we have the three forms of the outcomes expectations. No, we have the physical outcomes, social outcomes, and the self-evaluation outcomes. For the physical outcomes, we have the sensory experiences, pleasure or pain, social outcomes, approval, disapproval, power or status. And then for the self-evaluation outcomes, self-satisfaction, pride, or self-criticism. Now let's go with the self-regulation. Social cognitive theory posits that human behavior is largely motivated and regulated by internal standards of self-evaluative reaction to our own actions. We watch our own behavior, compare it to our standards or goals, and adjust accordingly. This ability to self-manage us stay motivated without external rewards. We have the sub-functions of the self-regulation. We have the self-monitoring, meaning you are paying attention to one's behavior. So you are actually monitoring your own behavior, your own reaction. How do you react on something or in a situation. We also have judgmental process, comparing behavior to personal standard or social norms. And then we have the self-reaction, incentive to oneself, which is the pride, self-reward, or disincentive, the feeling of guilt. We have the social cognitive function theory application. So we can, on this ad video, I will be discussing some of its application into education, health, psychology, and then the mass media communication. So for the education, it's about fostering learning. In social cognitive theory, it or the social cognitive theory helps teachers create effective learning environment. Teacher can model positive behavior, set achievable goals, and build student. Self-efficacy supportive feedback. Using peer model and emphasizing effort can significantly improve student motivation and performances. So, is there any one of you here uh, think of any situation or application of the social cognitive theory in education? That's very good. That is correct. Another one. Yes? Okay. Again, that example or that application of the social cognitive theory is correct. Social cognitive theory in education, again, uses fear model to demonstrate skills. It provides clear, attainable goal to ensure mastery experiences, giving feedback that attributes success to effort, not just innate ability. Next is the health psychology. In health psychology, social cognitive theory is widely used to support behavior change. Most of the time, your classmate shows a change in their behavior. So uh how are you going to interact with the sudden change of behavior of your classmate? Self-efficacy is one of the strongest predictor of whether people adopt healthy habits such as exercise or diet improvement. Intervention often focus on building skill, using role models, and teaching strategy for relapse prevention. So again, no, for the question, how are you going to uh, react on a situation where each one of you in the group doing something collaboratively, and there is a good working environment with each of the group mates or your classmate, and then suddenly there is a behavioral change on your classmate or on your group member. How are you going to to handle that kind of situation? So, so it is very important for each one of us that we have a healthy behavior. So how are we going to have that healthy behavior? So according to the health psychology, no, we should have a proper diet. We also have an exercise, no? So it's very important that before going to school, no, we should be eating our breakfast, and for the whole day we are doing something that we can boost, or we can perform the things that we need to perform inside the classroom or within the school environment or within the school setting. Next is the mass media and communication. Bandura expanded social cognitive theory to explain how media influences social changes through symbolic modeling. Television, movies, and digital media provide a vast array of models that can teach new behavior, social norms, and attitude. This has implication for everything from the spread of aggression, the original Bobo Dahl findings, to positive social change via edutainment. So Bandura also showed how mass media influence behavior through symbolic model. No? So as we all know that media can spread harmful or even harmless behavior. So for the harmful behavior, no, it can be aggression, but sometimes it can also encourage positive change through educational entertainment. And once again, this highlights the powerful role of media in shaping social norms. Critics and limitations. So biological underemphasis. Critics argue that social cognitive theory places too much emphasis on cognitive processes and the environment, potentially overlooking biological, hormonal, and genetic factors that influence behavior. Structural complexity, the theory is very broad and comprehensive. The theory of everything, which can make it difficult to operationalize and test in its entirety within a single study. Despite its influence in social cognitive theory, there are some critics argue that it underplays biological factors such as genetic hormones. Others says the theory is so broad that it can be difficult to test entirely in one study. So it remains one of the most practical and widely applied theory in psychology, the social cognitive theory. Are there any question or any violent reaction? Thank you. Once again, thank you for watching this presentation on social cognitive theory. I already explored through this video how personal factors, our actions, and environment interact to shape behavior. From classroom to healthcare to media, social cognitive theory provides valuable insight into why we behave, the why we do, or the way we do. Thank you, and I hope this presentation will be helpful to each one of you who may be able to watch this.